Okay, class. So what I'd like to show you right now is the next stage in designing your brochure, setting it up on the computer. So I'm just bringing you into Showbie to show you some of um, the images that I downloaded for you. So I've downloaded the brochure prototype, which goes over measurements. Now, the only reason that you'd have to create um, a prototype to scale is if your brochure is custom. Um, so for instance, this is a trifold. The only part that this person had to measure really was the part that they cut out because that's custom to the trifold. So once you get past that step, you're going to be creating your brochure in InDesign. However, you can use any of the programs that you feel comfortable with, Photoshop, Illustrator, to color correct pictures, to cut out, um, to create in, and then bring all of those images into InDesign. So pretty much your final project is going to come together in InDesign. I did include an example of a trifold just to show you an example of what it's going to look like. This would be the inside of the trifold. So you can see that the inside is just a full page. So whatever you put here, you're working on that page, and the inside should be a little bit more clear and easier. The outside, however, is going to be a little bit harder because your information is getting jumbled. When you open up the brochure, your front cover is going to be on the right side, your back cover is going to be in the middle, and your fold that comes forward is going to be on the left. So you really have to make sure that your information is planned out and you reference your mini brochure or your prototype to figure out where you're going to place things. So in InDesign, what I wanted to show you was how to set up your file. So I have my InDesign open, okay, and I'm going to just do File, New, Document, okay. Now, remember, on your tab that opens up, you want to make sure that you're previewing what you are creating. It's helpful to then visualize the numbers that you're punching into this file. So remember, in InDesign, you work in picas. So I'm going to show you in a second how you can change that to inches, but know that 51 pica by 66 pica is a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. You're going to want to hold it in the direction that you think is comfortable to work with. So I'm going to just change the orientation to a landscape. And you're going to want to create at least 2 pages because you have your front and your back. So it's almost like in Illustrator how you have artboards. Instead it's pages, and you want to make sure you're working close with one another back and forth. So I'm going to create number of pages 2. Okay. My width and height is 66 by 51. Now if yours is a little bit different, I can go over that with you separately. Your columns. So you can actually change the number of columns that you have. So if you have a trifold, you can automatically add your 3 columns. If you have 4 columns, you could add your 4 columns. But I'm going to keep this example at 3. What I also want you to see here is your margins are really large here. They don't need to be this wide. You can shrink them down because you can use up all of this space. So I'm going to encourage you to push your margins to 1.5, all right, so that they're about the same as your, what we call gutter space, right, your folds. So now I can hit OK. So now I should have 2 different files exactly the same. One's going to be the front, one's going to be the back. Now, let's say that I wanted to change my information from pica to inches. what you're going to do is go to your system preferences. I'm sorry, let's backtrack here. Did not mean to do that. Preferences, InDesign. Okay, InDesign preferences. And you're going to go to units and increments. When you go to units and increments, you can see that you can change your ruler units to from pica 2 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and just change that. So here when you hit OK, you can see that now it's a little bit more comfortable. If you wanted to go back and do new document, you can see, oh, it didn't change it. All right, well, I'll show you that next time. In the meantime, that's one way that you can change that. In my next video, I'm going to start going over how to lay out your color, how to begin planning more of the design aspects of this brochure. And that's it. So enjoy. I hope you find this helpful.